Hey guys, so now here's a video about the top 10 staples in the Battle City box format. Now I'm doing these so you can know what staples to use or expect in the tournament that's gonna happen, the $500 tournament that's gonna happen later today. Since I know that a lot of you might not have the time to wait for the whole video for me to talk about everything, so I will leave a link to this document. So if you want to read all the information and you don't have to wait for me to finish the video, just read it on your own, get your own information. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the link. Anyways, so top 10 staples for the Battle City box format. And what do they mean? And keep in mind that it's a top 10, but it's in inverse. The best ones are gonna be on the front, the top one, and then the worst ones are gonna be at the bottom. And they're not worse, they're just less played. Anyways, Book of Moon, it's a card that it's one of the only ways that it could stop Breaker to Magical Warrior, which we know is seeing a lot of play, especially in conflict decks. But it does a lot of things. So you're gonna expect to see 2 or 3 in almost every deck, because it does a lot of things and it covers a lot of things in the meta. And because of this card, because it puts monsters to defense mode, defense stats matter now. So that's why you're seeing cards like Caser Glider seeing more play than Blowback Dragon or Jinso in some people. And that's because Jinso and Blowback Dragon, they have low defense, and if they get Book of Moon, they did nothing. No blowback trigger, no Jinso to negate traps because you use Book of Moon. Anyways, it also shifts the deck building decision to does this lose to Book of Moon, and this is a question mark. Anyways, Spellproof Armor is a counter to Book of Moon, but even then you can use Book of Moon on your own monsters, and you can dodge effects like Widespread Ruin, Offerings to the Doom, or you can even recycle your own flip effects. Next off, Sphere, and this is seeing a lot of play because, first of all, people are playing Dark Engines more with Outward of Darkness, and because Conflict and Moth OTK so easily that people are playing Sphere just to stop that play. But yeah, anyways, because Sphere exists, people should not play OTK decks that only OTK without gaining advantage. So like Winged Dragon of Ra OTK, Dark Magician OTK, like it's not worth it because Sphere is gonna stop you. Also, this card is good against Spellproof Armor because Jinso and Clausulas have low defense. So this is the card that's gonna help you as opposed to Book of Moon. And like Book of Moon, it also means that defense that means a lot more. Anyways, next off, Breaker to Magical Warrior, and it just means that because Breaker can pop any back row that loses to Breaker, let's say Widespread Ruin, Mirror Wall, it's not gonna be good. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't play them because you might still need them, but it's gonna make you think twice about playing too much of that back row without playing something that opposes Breaker, like for example Book of Moon. But yeah, also because Dark Engines are more popular now, I think it's more thanks to Breaker, but it's just that we have so many good darks: Sphere, Breaker, Apprentice Magician, Jinso, Blowback Dragon. But yeah, next off we have Lost Wind. Together with Diffusion, And now Lost Wind is a card that should be in at 2, at least at 2 in every side deck, because it's the card that counters XYZ unions, and because the skill immunity makes a lot of other cards useless, Lost Wind is all you can do. But yeah, this card is also usable for Relinquish, Mass Beast, even Moth. And keep in mind that all those decks that lose to Lost Wind, they should main or side at least 2 Cosmic Cyclones. So you can expect that in the unions too. Anyways, Diffusion is also a decent side against unions, but because of skill immunity, they will get to pop a card before you can activate Diffusion, unlike Lost Wind that can negate the effect. So this card doesn't see much play unless you're seeing someone that plays Jinso or maybe a fusion summoning deck. And I'm gonna explain in a later video about the skill immunity, so keep up to that, and I'm gonna show you why Lost Wind is better than people think. Next off, we have Soma the Spirit, and this card is just a cheesy card that can steal games unfairly. It can deal a lot of damage, and because conflict is a thing, once a player uses conflict and summons a monarch, this card alone can be lethal. So don't sleep on Soma. Anyways, there's still Breaker that kills Soma, but that doesn't mean that people are not playing it. Anyways, next off we have Mirror Wall and Widespread Ruin together, and now these two are battle traps, but that they have such good effect that even if they lose to Breaker, they're still gonna see play. And now one isn't better than the other, they have their advantages. Widespread Ruin cleans the monster with the highest attack, even if they didn't declare an attack. And Mirror Wall can only do that if the monster that you wanted to destroy declares an attack, and you have a monster with enough stats so that it dies by battle. But Mirror Wall, it has one advantage that not many people think about, and it's that if I attack and my opponent uses Widespread Ruin, I can chain Book of Moon to save my monster. Mirror Wall activates in the damage step, and because of this, I can't do Book of Moon. I just lost my monster. So yeah, don't sleep on these two. People use them, and they're actually good. And lastly, we have Waking the Dragon. And yeah, that's 10 because we had the double cards. But anyways, Waking the Dragon, because people are playing Breaker the Magical Warrior, also people are playing Cosmic Cyclones, we have Moth, we have Unions, so this card is now a lot easier to trigger, and people are using it, and it steals games. I've lost to Waking the Dragon, so yeah, it might be worth playing it, especially if you play a very low amount of back row, but your opponent's not gonna fall for it twice, probably. With this card, it sets a mind game that you have to read your opponent's back row to find out if they might have Waking the Dragon, while the Waking the Dragon player has to mislead you and bait you to destroy their back row. So it's a mind game. But anyways, and lastly, it's not here, but the best back row removal, Cosmic Cyclone. Pay 1,000 life points, and then you clear any back row by banishing it. So yeah, it's the best back row removal, and it's good in many decks, so you're gonna see them being played, especially if the deck is afraid of lost win. Anyways, thank you guys, and if you think that this video was useful, share it with your friends or with people who are new to speed duels, so maybe it's helpful for them. But thank you guys.